over 400 years, Mysuru has seen a grand celebration of the Dasara festival. The city glows with music, dance, elephants and colour, carrying forward a tradition that blends devotion, royalty and cultural pride. But this year, the spotlight isn't just on the festivities. It's on the Karnataka government's choice of Kannada writer and Booker Prize winner Banu Mushtaq to inaugurate the celebrations. For weeks now, Kannada news channels have been debating whether Banu is the right person for the job. For her critics, mostly from the right wing, her faith and her past statements make her unsuitable. Politics apart, the controversy has raised questions that are at the core of what Karnataka stands for. Is Mysuru Dasara a cultural festival that belongs to everyone? Or is it strictly a Hindu religious celebration? Should Kannada be imagined as goddess Bhuvaneshwari? Is there an inherent contradiction in Banu Mushtaq inaugurating the Mysuru Dasara? But most importantly, what's playing out is one-upmanship between two young BJP leaders. Let me explain. In a few weeks from now, Let Me Explain will complete 100 episodes. Over the last few months, we have tried to do some serious journalism in this show. And I hope that we have somewhere improved your understanding of news and events. We've never believed in just reporting on the grandeur of the Mysuru Dasara. For us, it's important to ask the questions about history, politics, and belonging. This kind of work is only possible with your support. So this week, let me make the appeal that I make every single week one more time. And I hope that at least some of you will listen to me. Become a News Minute subscriber by scanning the QR code or clicking the link in the description. Because journalism that belongs to the people should be funded by the people. Now back to the controversy. Banu Mushtaq wouldn't be the first Muslim writer to open Dasara. In 2017, poet K.S. Nisar Ahmed had done it too. And he too faced opposition on similar grounds, that a Muslim cannot inaugurate a festival tied to goddess worship. Supporters of Banu's selection say that it's a step towards making the Nadahabba, or the state festival, more inclusive, reflecting Karnataka's linguistic and cultural diversity. After all, Mysuru Dasara festivities are funded by the state and projected to the world as Karnataka's cultural showcase. But opponents insist that her identity and her past statements make her unfit to perform the inaugural rituals. This clash takes us deep into Karnataka's cultural politics. Writers like Banu, Banchegere Jayaprakash, Devnur Mahadeva, K.S. Bhagwan and many others have for long argued that turning Kannada into a goddess excludes minority communities. They point out that Buddhists, Jains and Muslims don't worship goddess. So why should a language be deified? They also warn that tying Kannada identity to Hindu symbols risk alienating non-Hindus from a shared linguistic identity. The tradition of linking Kannada to Bhuvaneshwari is not new. In the 1930s, Kannada activists adopted the imagery of Mother Kannada, inspired by the nationalist idea of Mother India. The colours of the Kannada flag, that's turmeric yellow and vermilion red, drew directly from the Hindu ritual symbolism. These choices created a powerful emotional iconography, but also tied language identity to Hindu forms of worship. For decades, nobody really questioned it until the 1970s. That's when the Bandaya movement, a wave of radical Dalit and progressive writers, began asking whether Kannada as Bhuvaneshwari could ever truly represent everyone. To understand why this debate is so charged, we also need to take a look at the history of Mysuru Dasara itself. The Vodeyar dynasty adopted the festival from the Vijayanagara kings in the 17th century. The Vijayanagara rulers worshipped Bhuvaneshwari and Chamundeshwari as clan deities, and Vodeyars brought these rituals into Mysuru royal court. Over time, Dasara became both a religious celebration and a political display. But even in the royal period, Dasara wasn't free of tensions. Nalvadi Krishnaraja Wadiyar once faced protests for seating his Muslim divan. Nalvadi had appointed his friend and classmate Sir Mirza Ismail as the Diwan of Mysore, and he included him in the planning of Dasara celebrations. On Vijayadashmi, as the parade began, Nalvadi made Mirza Ismail sit with him in the Jambu Sawari, that's the elephant procession, and this gesture offended conservatives of his time. Some argue that the only strictly religious part of Dasara is the Chamundeshwari Puja. Everything else, from the sports events to the grand Vijayadashmi procession, is culture, public, and largely funded by the state government. Lakhs of people take part regardless of their religion. Yet, the symbolism of Chamundeshwari and Bhuvaneshwari continue to define the meaning of Dasara. The royal family still stresses on this religious connection. For instance, Pramoda Devi Wadiyar, member of the erstwhile royal family of Mysore, has not explicitly objected to Banu Mushtaq, but what has bothered her was how Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar defended it. Because he said Chamundi Hills is not the property of Hindus alone.
ಚಾಮುಂಡಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟ ಚಾಮುಂಡಿ ದೇವರು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಧರ್ಮದವರಿಗೂ ಇದೆ, ಹಿಂದೂಗಳ ಆಸ್ತಿ ಏನಲ್ಲ.
Now, Pramoda Devi said that the Chamundeshwari temple is very much a Hindu shrine. Because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be under the Muzrai department. But she made an important distinction too. The government's Dasara, she said, is a cultural celebration. It cannot and does not carry religious sanctity. Navratri's religious rituals are still carried out by the royal family both inside and outside the palace, just as they've been doing for centuries now. Meanwhile, the political fight over Banu Mushtaq has now moved into courts. Former Mysuru MP Pratap Simha has filed a petition claiming that inviting Banu Mushtaq violates centuries-old traditions. He says it infringes constitutional rights under Articles 25 and 26, which protect religious freedom. Simha argues that a non-Hindu cannot genuinely perform rituals tied to Chamundeshwari worship and that Banu Mushtaq's past remarks make her a divisive choice. In the 2024 Lok Sabha election, BJP did not give the Mysuru Kodagu ticket to Pratap Simha. Instead, they made Yaduveer Wadiyar, who's the scion of the Wadiyar family, their candidate. Initially, Yaduveer supported the government's decision and said that Dasara is not restricted to a religion. When Pratap Simha protested against Banu, it became politically important for Yaduveer to also react. Many BJP insiders say that it has almost become a fight for one-upmanship between these two young leaders. Which is why Yaduveer is now on almost every Kannada channel questioning Banu. Now, while the right-wing's objections to Banu Mushtaq are deeply polarizing, the decision itself carries a distinct irony. Banu Mushtaq's writing is deeply rooted in questioning exclusion. She's long explored the struggles and resilience of women, especially Muslim women. Her award-winning work, Heart Lamp, also delves into class-based oppression, faith, and societal pressures. In 2023, Banu openly criticized the very idea of personifying Kannada as a goddess. And she also went on to say that this symbolism has historically left out minorities, Dalits, and women from fully belonging to Kannada's cultural identity. She voiced these concerns at the Jana Sahitya Sammelana, a festival that was organized by progressive and Dalit writers in protest against the official Kannada Sahitya Sammelana. Why? Because this was being accused of sidelining Muslim and women writers. And here lies the paradox. This writer, who challenges exclusionary traditions, is now being asked to open celebrations that are deeply ritualistic and steeped in Vedic practices. Seen through the lens of literary and cultural history, the irony becomes sharper. Because Banu is part of Bandaya Sahitya, or rebellious literature. This was a movement that rose in the 1970s to critique caste oppression, patriarchy, and Brahminical norms and gave voice to marginalized communities. Banu's work places her squarely in that tradition of challenging dominant narratives. And yet, she is now at the heart of a festival that has often been criticized as feudal and exclusionary. As a counterpoint, progressive groups have established an alternative Dasara in Mysuru, celebrated a week earlier, and it's called Mahisha Dasara. Here, the focus shifts to Mahisha, not as the demon who goddess Chamundeshwari is said to have slain, but as a cultural and political figure. Mahisha Dasara organizers argue that Mahishasura was actually a Buddhist king remembered for justice, inclusivity, and someone whose legacy was later discredited in dominant caste versions of history. The first Mahisha Dasara was held in 2015, but it was stopped under the BJP government. But it was revived in 2023 when Siddaramaiah returned to power. At the foot of Chamundi Hills near Mahishasura's statue, people gather to talk about social justice, to challenge history as it's been told so far. Look, in the end, the debate isn't just about one person or one festival. Over the years, battles over symbols, whether it be Kannada flag, the image of Bhuvaneshwari, or even the way language movements are framed, have shaped Karnataka's politics. On one hand, there's the powerful impulse to protect tradition, ritual, and history. On the other, there's a growing demand to ensure that language and culture remain inclusive. This year, Mysuru's Dasara runs from September 22nd to October 2nd, ending with the grand Vijayadashmi procession. For lakhs of people, it will remain what it always has been, a time of music, elephants, and spectacle. But at its core, some questions linger. And it is a debate that will not end with just this year's festivities.